There's been an incident in the Copperbell mines. We're here to ensure that the effects are contained, but for your own safety, I suggest that you stay well away from here. What? You're the adventurer who's volunteered to quell the Hectutrers? No, I didn't think that Papa Sean would be able to find someone so quickly, if at all, it being distasteful and awful. The giants are content to wreak havoc inside the mines for now, but it's only a matter of time before they think to come outside. The sooner you see to them, the better. Be sure. Make ready as best you can. Enter at will. All right. This could not be regretted. So I did not hit level 30 prior to Copperbell, but the completion of Copperbell will do it. There's no way I don't get 30. There's no way. It's possible I hit 31 or 32 in there. This is so much. And I'm not caught up on class quests. Also, no one bet no. Not a single person. Oh, maybe somebody put a 1 in there and it won't divide it that many ways. But it just says 0, so maybe, yeah, that's funny. Alright. One or more members are new to this duty. A bonus will be awarded. That's me. That's funny. Yeah. Grab that key. To the left. Hold the lever, Kronk. Could be the pugilist. Yeah, maybe. Problem. It's possible. Yeah. It's absolutely possible. Okay. Doing it. We're gonna keep slamming things here. They should be fine. I mean, if they use any mitigation at all, they can pull hard in this dungeon. This is no Toto Rock or something like that. There's a couple, like Dusk Vigil and stuff, can punch real hard. So there's a couple that, like, there's nothing I can do for you. What are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we killing this? Alright. Tell them that trash no longer offers experience. I don't mind full clearing if they want a full clear. I just want them to know that it does not offer experience. None. None. But if they want to, yeah, you can leash this too, but like, now because I'm not doing my class quest, is my class quest what gives me the rest of my actions, or do they just unlock naturally? So do I have to stop and do my class quest just so I have like a full kit? Yeah, I think after this dungeon I need to catch up my class quest, because I'll be 30. Okay, so I'm having to do this with Cure because I haven't done my class quest. That's my penalty. Okay. But yeah, this, like, all this does is give you gil, and it gives you, like, single-digit gil. So there's no value in clearing trash unless you just like full clearing things. Which some people do. Like, some people really like seeing every single thing in a dungeon die. Just depends. There we go. Oh, there is no heal this early. What am I missing? I've got to be missing something. Maybe not. Maybe it really just feels this dry this low. I know that anytime I sink down to this on Warrior, it's such a bummer. Anytime I get a leveling roulette this low, you don't have anything to do. Like, when I'm in here with a Sprout, I really don't mind, because it's like, oh, I'm helping somebody. But, like, when I pop in and I'm with, like, everybody in my group is, like, level 85 or higher, why are we here? If they'd done more of, like, an Unreal type system with it, where, like, it's scaled up so I could use my kit, especially if I'm leveling classes that I'm, like, actively working on. So, like, right now, Scholar's, like, 87. So, like, I'd love to use my level 87 skills, because I don't even know them all, right? And instead, that's not what happens. Like, you get all these new skills, and then you queue up for the day, and then it's like, oh, yeah, don't use those. Oh, okay. That seems weird. I just wanted to, you know. So. I don't know. So if it worked more like the Unreal system, it would be different. And, like, if you queue up with a manual party for your leveling roulette, like if you and 3 friends want to do your roulettes together, there's a setting where, for pre-made parties, can actually force it to spawn a dungeon from within 4 levels of the lowest level person. 4, 7, something like that. It limits it, so you've only got a couple of dungeons that you get stuck with. But that's way better. Now, they can't offer that if you're in with random players, because then nobody would ever be available for Sistasha or Tamtara when somebody does need it. Which, like I said, when I'm with somebody that does need it, I think it's awesome. Like, when I hop in and somebody's like little, you know, 10, and they're not gilded, and I'm like, oh, are you new to the game? Welcome to the game. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Criterion Dungeons are in 6.2. That'll be challenging content for 1 to 4 players. So I'm all about, like, getting people into the game, especially because dungeons are required, right? In World of Warcraft, you're leveling up with Chromie time, and you don't have to do any of the dungeons. So if nobody's available to run a dungeon, just keep questing. It's fine. It's totally fine. But in 14, you're literally just standing around. You have nothing you can do once you've caught up on class quests and you're waiting for MSQ, because side quests are junk experience. Fates alone suck. Like early MSQ, like right now at 17, you have so little you can do. Maybe go finish your hunting log. Like, you're just kind of stuck. So I'd love to see them tackle that. Oh, yes, please. There we go. We don't know much about Criterion Dungeons, except that they will scale to the number of people in your party between 1 and 4, and they are meant to be challenging. We're getting the first one in 6.2. We're getting 2 more between 6.4 and 6.5. We don't know. I'd assume it's not 2 in 1 patch. I'd assume it's 1 with 6.4 and 1 with 6.5, but that is an assumption. We know very, very little. The odds are they'll go over them during the 2 live letters going into 6.2. We are getting a deep dungeon with 6.3. So when they said Criterion Dungeons, my immediate assumption was that it was a new take on deep dungeons, right? Like, we knew we were getting one. Bozja, if you compare Bozja to, like, original relics, the iterations have gone so far, you might as well not call them relics. You could just call them something else. So I just assumed it was the next Criterion Dungeons were just the next iteration of the deep dungeon system, the same way, like, trusts pick up off of squadrons and so on. I assumed it was just a departure. Because the deep dungeon system could use, like, a facelift. Like, it does a lot well, but, like, let's have it do more. And instead, it's this totally other thing that we're also getting a deep dungeon, which is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. There we go. Nice. What do we need? The sand comes off one of these? Right. Okay, I'll get it. I got it. Cool. Do we get both sets of sand? We're making good time for the fact that this dungeon has a lot of just like time-killing mechanics in it. Like all those little cast bars where one person's doing something, you're just kind of standing around. They've got that one. Like this whole boss. This whole boss is just... Can tanks respect mechanics? And the rest of you, can you just stand there? That's it. And if the tank gets it wrong, they don't take damage that I can heal. They just... Like, if the tank gets hit by one of those bombs, they just die. So, like, I can't help them. I think this is the worst boss in the game. Well, I agree. Second worst. I think the worst boss in the game is Livia. I think that's actively a bad boss. Because this is at least teaching the tank to respect mechanics. Livia is at level 50. Come on. Come on. You know better at that point. So why is there a boss that has no mechanics? None. You're just standing around waiting for people to shoot missiles. Oh, if you get caught by that, you will die. No. Alright. Yeah, Livia's at the... She's in Castrum, one of the level 50 dungeons. You only really run into her if you do your MSQ roulette. I don't think that Cape Westwind is a good fight, and I think it's good that they're deleting it. I understand that it's fun to laugh at like a meme, because you're laughing at how bad the fight is. Yeah, she's got the 4 missiles, so you tell the hand to grab the missile, the missile gets loaded, then you shoot the missile. If the missile misses, you're just wasting time. Meanwhile, everybody does single-digit damage to her. Like, come on. There it is. Ding, 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 ding. 30, 30, 30. You had to figure I did it. So you get a big chunk of experience. I got a full level from that, almost. I went from half a level to almost all the way back to half a level. That's crazy. And then I get to do that more. Like, we're not done. This is so much experience. Yeah, I mean, if there were mechanics that, like, oh, the missiles do a lot of damage, but, like, players can do damage too. Like, there's just no benefit to anybody that's not there doing anything but standing in the middle so the ads come to them. That's it. You just stand there. Or if each player was, like, tossed into an instance to handle their own missiles. But, like, most of you are just standing around. Because the person, and the person who clicks the hand doesn't have to click another hand for a while, so one person can manage 2 sets of missiles and 2 sets of guns. So it's literally 2 people doing everything, while the other 6 people just stand around. Now it's going to be a lot better because it is dropping to a 4-person instance, and so for 4-person you put 1 on one side, 1 on the other, you put a tank in the middle, you put a healer in the middle. That's it. It's way better. It's immediately way better in 6.1. They were just trying stuff. So, like, honestly, they were just testing it, right? So, you gotta remember, A Realm Reborn was them deciding what type of content they wanted to offer. So they built content to mimic all the things that other games had at the time, that they thought worked in their own way. And so they said, hey, this is kind of what they did, this is our version of that. And some of it worked and some of it did not. So some of it is still supported to this day, and some of it isn't. Right? Like, Guild has just stopped getting supported at, like, level 40. They just stopped. MSQ dungeons. We got 2 of them, and then never anymore. They were like, oh, yep, don't do that again. And so, like, you can't bat 1,000. Like, sometimes you just get it wrong. And so a lot of this is they've just gotten it wrong over the years, and that's fine. Like, you can't regret it because they learned from it. The reason 14 is a success is not because it's been perfect along the way. It's because they learn. They learn from things they do well. They learn from things they do poorly. They just learn across the board. They learn, they learn, they learn. Look at how much raid series have changed. When you talk about Coils to Alexander, it's a huge leap. When you talk about Alexander to Omega, oh my god. It's totally different. It's totally different. And now people really look forward to new raid stuff. People like Pandemonium. But Pandemonium, like if you compare Pandemonium to Coils, mechanically, it's a totally different experience. And so, like, ARR at the time, I really enjoyed it. It's when I joined this game. All we're saying is that, like, hey, you've gotten better at making games, right? They've had their job for a decade. They've gotten better. Technology's gotten better, and what we expect from games has risen. So A Realm Reborn, when compared to Endwalker, it's not as good. But that's not because it's not good, or that it wasn't good at the time, or that it isn't good for its time. It's just that things have gotten better. So anything they go back and tune, that's not to say they regret how it was handled. How it was handled was fine. But like in hindsight, if you could go back with the knowledge you have now, I mean, gosh, like I don't regret how I did in school. It's who I am, and I balanced my time between extracurricular activities and stuff like that. But like, would I be a better student if I went back to school now? Yes. Yes, because I thought grades were something that other people patted you on the back, and so if you didn't need a pat on the back, why would you get good grades? And so I was a B and C student because it kept my parents off my back, but there was no reason to be an A student. Because from my perspective, the A student, the only difference between them and me is they acquired the same knowledge I did, but they got it so perfectly, and they did all the extra. I never did my homework. I just took zeros on homework. They did all that stuff so that what? The principal could read their names out over the announcements? I don't want my name read over the announcements. So I just didn't take it seriously. And in hindsight, I could have gotten scholarships, and that would have reduced the amount of student loans I had to take out. So I would be a way better student. I became a better student the longer I was in school. And so, like, as they go back and rework some of this A Realm Reborn content to make it be supported by the duty support system, there is a chance to fix things that, with hindsight, they would do differently. That is not to say they were wrong for doing them the first time. So, like, when they go back and change the Toto Rock Heavy, that's because Toto Rock could be better if it was made in 2022. They're not going to totally rebuild it because that's a waste of resources, but they're going to make some adjustments.